Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a courtroom video, and this is dangerous teens reacting to life sentences. We're gonna get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comment, think down below. Let's go.
I didn't mean to kill Austin. Ashley, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
I agree with the family. I hope you die in prison as well. You know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
Why do you use that quote where it doesn't fit? This pisses me off when they do. This has happened twice in videos I've done. That one was this and one was not connected to this, but different video. Where I've seen this quote of "I hope you die in prison as well" and that used where it wasn't fit. It never was said here.
Well, you know, if this was a death penalty state, you'd be getting the chair.
This is Shondell Jackson, who is facing charges for the murder of a university student in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. According to reports, Jackson, who was 18 years old at the time, along with his friend Derek Thomas, were actively seeking victims when they spotted Nathan Potter leaving a bar. Suddenly, the teens made an ill-fated attempt to rob Potter as he returned to his apartment. However, when it became apparent to Jackson that Potter did not possess any cash, he fatally shot him. Following the murder, officials revealed
That thought process makes no sense. Why would you kill someone because he didn't have money for you to rob? That's not his fault. You suck at picking people. Why are you bad at picking people to rob? You're shitty robbers. You are shitty robbers. So you know what? You would hate me though. You want his cash. I don't ever carry cash on me. I'd be bored. You'd hate me. You're shitty as hell when it comes to robbing people. You're a terrible picker when it comes to robbers.
that Jackson fled to Mississippi, but his uncle eventually disclosed his whereabouts, leading to his arrest.
You just can't take nobody's life. You know, that's just wrong. And I believe I did the right thing, and there's nobody can make me change that.
When Jackson appeared in court, he made light of the situation by gesturing at the family and cursing at them. When he was escorted out of the courtroom, you could see him smiling at the family. Moments before the sentencing, Jackson's mother told the court by gesturing at the killing on TV.
When I saw it on the news, I even cried. I'm like, oh my God, I can't imagine what that mother is going through. I never had a clue that my child had anything to do with it. My son is not a monster. He is not a monster.
Then, Nathan's father read a heartbreaking victim impact statement.
There's nothing that can be said to bring back our Nathan. But your sentence can ensure that Shondell does not have the opportunity as a free man to inflict pain like this again.
Jackson now apologizes for what he has done.
I apologize for my behaviors. Please don't take my life from me.
Jackson's attorney had asked the judge to consider his client's youth and lack of impulse control in determining the sentence.
I hate people who do that. Oh, he's young. No. See, he was old enough to know that his ass should not have pulled the trigger and took someone's life. He ain't that thing. He knew what he was doing. I hate when people say stuff like that. I'm in my 20s. I know I shouldn't be doing shit like that. When I was 13, I knew I shouldn't be doing shit like that. Don't give me that shit under any circumstances.
However, when Judge Rebecca Dallett announced life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, all hell broke loose.
Is this the one where the family of him got mad at the others despite the fact they're the ones that had someone's life taken? Am I right with this one?
As Jackson was being subdued by authorities, you can hear one of Jackson's family members scream directly to Nathan Potter's family.
I hate you!
Luckily, the courtroom incident during
first-degree intentional.
not.
I still hate that part. How can you get mad at the Potter family for anything? They had someone's life taken by your family member because y'all's family members fucked in the head. That Potter family has no right to have any hate on them. They're the victims here. They're all the victims. They lost a family member for no reason. His family's stupid. Except his uncle. The only one that has any sort of brains because his uncle is the one that threw him right under the fucking bus when they knew where he was.
Results in serious injuries. Eventually, Jackson was sentenced to life in prison without parole.
I'm going to go ahead on count 1, the first-degree intentional homicide conviction, and I am going to sentence Mr. Jackson to life imprisonment without possibility for extended supervision. I know that that is something that is reserved for the most serious of cases, and I believe that this case rises to that level.
As for Jackson's accomplice, Derek Thomas,
Yeah, for some reason they don't show that it was him turning his head that started the whole altercation. They showed that so backwards, out of order. I don't get that.
he pleaded guilty to acting as the lookout and was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Shondell Jackson's actions in court were disgraceful. However, his actions seem harmless compared to infamous school.
Oh, this fucking guy. This guy is something else. This guy is fucking something else. No shame or anything on this guy.
Shooter TJ Lanes.
Insane to pull the trigger that killed your son, now masturbates to memory of you.
18-year-old TJ Lane is facing charges for multiple murders in Ohio. On February 27, 2012, TJ Lane would become an American murderer who gained notoriety after committing a horrifying killing spree at Chardon High School in Ohio.
We had shots fired, gunshots, multiple gunshots.
Chardon High School, we need police up here. There's someone in the building with a gun.
As per police records, Lane entered the school and proceeded to the cafeteria, where he unleashed a hail of bullets, resulting in the death of 3 students and severe injuries to 3 others.
These are your friends laying all over.
The part that is insane to think about is the parents are so scared now in America, because Canada doesn't happen often, but parents are so scared in America that, like, you're scared to even send your own family to school. You're worried if you send your kids to school, will they come home will they be coming home each day? Like, that's insane that people think, that people have to think that way. Because there's so many, I don't know what happened the last few years, but there were so many school shooting stories that were going, that was becoming insane, like, what the fuck is going on?
All over the place, there's blood, there's people screaming, everybody's running in different directions, and you're just trying to get out.
As if the murders weren't cruel enough, when Lane got to court, he showed no signs of remorse to the victims' families. Everything seemed normal as Lane strutted into court in a blue button-down. However, moments later, Lane would reveal just how cynical a teenager he is.
Thank you, Your Honor. To my left is Nicholas Burling, Judge County Assistant Prosecutor.
When the prosecutors pointed it out to Judge David Fury, TJ smirked with a sense of pride.
And today, the defendant took off his dress shirt, revealing an undershirt with the word killer written on it, similar to the shirt that he wore on the day of the offense.
We typically see convicts wearing an orange or red jumpsuit in court, but this teenager is not the typical convict. Lane's antics only got worse when family members of the victims got the chance to speak directly to their child's murderer.
Nick is a very kind and loving. Why would you want to hurt him? You don't know kind. You're evil.
Lane smiled and laughed through all of them. Then, Lane told them what he really thinks.
Insane to pull the trigger that killed your son, now masturbates to memory of you.
The judge presiding over the case described Lane's behavior as heinous, unprovoked, and senseless, and sentenced him to 3 life sentences in prison without parole. Lane's behavior and reactions were likened to that of a psychopath. However, not every convict remains emotionless after hearing they're spending the rest of their life behind bars, like in the case of...
Oh yeah, isn't he the guy that got? Isn't this one they killed the grandma or great grandma or something like that? And only took enough to. They only got like $40 or $60 or something like that. They went to go get some pizza and they didn't even like. And these two are stupid for what they did.
14-year-old and
These two deserve what they got. All these people deserve what they got.
Antonio Barbo and Nathan Pop.
Although I will say the TJ guy should have probably gotten fucking the death sentence if he could.
Who are facing charges for murder in Sheboygan County, Wisconsin. In September 2012, the two teenagers worked together to kill Barbo's great-grandmother, 78-year-old Barbara Olson, in her Sheboygan Falls home. According to police reports, Barbo struck her several times with a hatchet, as his accomplice, Nathan Pop, simultaneously used a hammer to bludgeon Olson to death.
What happened next?
We got in, and then I looked to Nate and nodded and shook my head as in yes or no. He nodded, and then I took the first swing. She started heading into the living room, falling.
And as she was falling, were there any more blows? Did you strike her again?
I hit one more time as she was falling.
After the attack, the boys would be seen on surveillance footage getting gloves and wipes, almost acting as if nothing had happened. However brutal the slaying was, wait till you hear why they decided to go through with such a violent act.
About, I think, 150.
And where is that?
Some of it went towards food.
150. 150. You took a life for 150. Do you know how pathetic that is? That's how you are so desperate for money that that's what you went towards? You were that desperate for money you took a life of your great grandmother for $150. Evil. Complete evil.
And then we got pizza, and then some of it went towards weed, which I think is actually still at his house upstairs, if he didn't get it yet.
That's right. You heard that correctly. The boys decided to murder Barbara Olson for money to buy pizza and weed. Watch here as surveillance footage captured the boys just hours later, enjoying a couple slices, almost acting as if they hadn't just committed a murder. During the trial, Barbo entered a plea of no contest.
Did you two actually also believe you would not get caught? Did you actually believe you would not get caught doing this? You had to have believed it, right? You had to know you were gonna get caught. You had to.
The first-degree intentional homicide. This plea was part of a deal that reduced his charge. Previously, Barbo had pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect, but later changed his plea in the proceeding. When given the opportunity to address the court, Barbo struggled to express himself and could not complete his statement.
I know I don't show my emotions much, and I myself am not sure why, but that doesn't mean I don't.
His lawyer stepped in and finished on his behalf.
I took away someone's mother, their grandma, sister, friend, when I had no right to do so.
As a result, Barbo was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 36 years, at which time he would be 50 years old. As he is escorted out of the court, he's seen crying and sobbing. His accomplice, Nathan, was also sentenced to life imprisonment and will not be eligible for parole until he turns 45. He showed no emotion as he was seen leaving the court. For many people, these teenagers got what they deserved. However, this wasn't the only time a teenager was sentenced to life imprisonment. There was the case of Alyssa Bustamante, who was facing charges for murder in Missouri. In 2009, when Alyssa was just 15, she murdered 9-year-old Elizabeth Olton, who lived 4 houses down from her. On the night of the murder, Elizabeth asked to go to Alyssa's house to play. However, Elizabeth was never seen alive again. Elizabeth's parents became worried and contacted.
You're 15 years old. What reason? You know better. A 15-year-old knows not to take someone's life. I don't believe anyone who says they don't. I don't know how anyone can believe they don't. I knew not to at 15. I'm not smart. I'm not above anyone else. I knew I should enough. How does no one else do? What the fuck do you think was gonna happen? What the fuck were you thinking, woman? Alyssa, what were you thinking?
Contacted the police to file a missing persons report for their daughter. For the next 2 days, video footage captured police stopping every car that drove by her house to ask for help in locating the missing 9-year-old. Eventually, they tracked Elizabeth's phone, and it pinged to the woods behind Alyssa's house. Authorities discovered a shallow grave behind Alyssa's house, and Elizabeth's body was found buried there, making Alyssa the prime suspect, and eventually leading to a devastating confession.
I put through if she died. And I just stabbed her.
If you think Alyssa's murder was dreadful, you would be sickened at her behavior in court. The prosecuting team was quick to draw the court's attention to a very alarming piece of evidence detectives uncovered while searching her house: a blank diary. But the diary wasn't so blank, because with the help of a blue light, detectives were able to reveal a diary entry in which she expressed euphoria after killing Elizabeth. This was a shocking discovery
I just
used.
I just fucking killed someone. I strangled them and stabbed them. It was amazing. That's not how she can't spell great. It was amazing because you have to do that. It's pretty enjoyable. I gotta go to church now. LOL. Evil. Pure evil.
As evidence against her. Despite her troubled background, Alyssa was tried as an adult and faced a potential death penalty. However, she accepted a plea deal to the lesser charge of second-degree murder before her trial began.
Basically, the main reason for accepting the offer was to avoid the absolute certainty of life without parole. If there was another option, then there would have been no reason to have accepted that offer.
She was eventually sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of conditional release, plus a consecutive 30 years in prison.
She would have been in the same situation, no better situation. She still could have faced a life without parole sentence.
Alyssa remained emotionless and stoic as her sentence was read. Alyssa's behavior and reactions were likened to that of a psychopath. However, that's not the only...
I'd say TJ is clearly the most psychopathic out of all of them. TJ is the worst of them all here.
Only time a teenager has
So far,
committed a
at least.
heinous crime. There's the case of Nicholas Lindsay, who is facing charges for murder in Florida. On February 21st, 2011, Officer David Crawford, aged 46, responded to a call regarding a suspicious person near Tropicana Field late at night. Upon arrival, Officer Crawford encountered this individual and exited his vehicle. At 10:37 p.m., an officer nearby reported hearing gunshots. That night, Officer Crawford was found shot and killed. The following day, a nationwide manhunt was on.
There is an incredible manhunt going on.
The following night, 16-year-old Nicholas Lindsay was arrested, following tips from the community. Lindsay initially provided varying accounts of the events.
I did not do it, and I'm telling you, I did not do it. Who did it? I don't know. You got the evidence. They right here. I was not there.
But eventually, Nicholas confessed.
It was on safety, but it wasn't. When I pulled it out, I wanted my finger on the chair.
From the confession tapes, you would be led to believe that Nicholas was remorseful for his crimes. However, in court, Nicholas seemed uninterested and unbothered.
Has significant doubts about the defendant's potential for rehabilitation.
David's daughter Amanda gave an emotional
I think that's a case of a guy who knew he was going away for life, so he just, for some reason, chose to not show any emotion. Or not to care. He's like come to terms with the fact he's not getting out of jail, so he's just chosen that way.
Victim impact statement.
This text with him was me saying, "Be safe, Dad. I love you." To which he immediately replied, "I will, sweetheart. I love you too." That was 1 hour before Lindsay went to shooting him.
To which Nicholas laughed. On March 23, 2012, Lindsay was convicted of Officer Crawford's murder and received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Lindsay's lack of remorse is shocking. However, a 16-year-old murderer begging for forgiveness in
Oh, I hate this guy so much. This one's the one thing. Because this one is, I think, what is it, 15-year-old blonde. All I need to do is cry in front of the jury and they're going to feel sorry for me. That was a quote he said, I believe, in a phone call to his mom.
court is equally, if not more, disgusting.
I didn't mean to kill Austin. Actually, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Dylan Schumacher is facing charges for the murder of his girlfriend's 23-month-old son in Springville, New York. According to police reports, on March 19th, 2013, Schumacher, 16 at the time, was left to babysit his girlfriend's toddler, Austin. When Austin wouldn't stop crying, Dylan began hitting.
Hold on. So I don't know if I've brought this up when I've said, how old was his girlfriend? Does anyone know? Because they couldn't have been the same age. She had to have been older than him. Right? Like, she had to have been older than him. Because if they're the same age, that means the girl is 23 months old? That means the girl had her when he was 14. How old was his girlfriend? Does anyone know? I need to know this now. I'm now curious.
Hitting him several times, including backhanded smacks to his.
In fairness, I don't think there's any because unless she, like, I don't know what age she would have to be without it be understandable to me. I feel anyone who would date a 16-year-old, any age, the age range I would think of would not make it still okay for me that she has a daughter already.
To his face and slamming his head on the ground while changing a diaper.
Sorry. Have a son. I don't know why I said daughter. Clearly it's a son. His name was Austin. I am so sorry. I have no idea why I said daughter when it's clearly a son. I don't know what the hell happened there. My brain wasn't thinking at all when I said that. I for some reason just assumed because it was a girl shit. I don't actually know what my brain was fucking thinking there. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
All of which culminated in defendant placing the victim on a bed with a pillow over him and repeatedly punching him in the head.
Fucking
During the
hell.
trial, the medical examiner established that the victim sustained ruptured blood vessels in his left ear and near his right eye, hemorrhages in his retina and perioptic nerve, and subdural and subarachnoid hemorrhaging. Austin died shortly thereafter. When Dylan got to court, things got even crazier. Schumacher claimed that he did not intend to kill the toddler.
I didn't mean to kill Austin. Actually, I really didn't. I really think I did that. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Schumacher addressed the court, apologizing to Ashley Smith and showing remorse for Austin's death. Dylan seems remorseful and genuinely sorry for what he did. However, State Supreme Court Justice M. William Baller didn't see it that way.
16, you knew right from wrong. Had a bad childhood, had some troubles. At 16, you knew not to keep pounding your fist on that pillow with that little baby's head there.
He then went on to label Dylan a manipulator and deceiver.
After listening to your testimony at trial, I came away with the impression that you minimize your actions, that you are a manipulator, and you try to deceive.
The judge then goes on to provide a truly disturbing piece of evidence.
The record will show that you admitted that on July 23rd, 2013, in a phone call to your mother from the holding center, you stated, and you got a quote from the court reporter, I am a 16-year-old blonde. Probably all I have to do is cry in front of the jury, and they're going to feel sorry for me.
Schumacher was eventually sentenced to 25 years to life in prison.
I will always still say I love the look of this attorney. I don't know what it is. This attorney always just gets a pop out of me. His look is insane. He looks like he belonged. He looks insane.
Continued crying as he received his sentence. If you thought these teenage criminals.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.